Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Breaking news, Jadon Sancho to Juventus will not happen. It is over, the deal has collapsed. There is no possibility anymore to see the Englishman transferring himself to the beautiful city of Torino. Breaking news that happened today, even if yesterday evening the feelings were going into that direction. For the people that were still hoping to see a last minute transfer, a last minute signature, a beautiful name, an international appealing name coming to Juventus, Jadon Sancho give up because it is over. Am I sad about it? Of course I am sad about it. I will give you the details why Jadon is not a Juventino as we speak, because the chances for him to be a Bianconero were extremely high 24-30 hours ago, while today they are close to zero, if not already zero. I will speak to you about that, about the exit mercato, but also about Champions League, that a lot of Juventini thought it would have been a really easy draw. It is an easy draw, but in that new competition, things are changing. And the draw that you saw yesterday might be more complicated than you were originally thinking. So if you didn't yet, please, yes, I'm back in Belgium. This video, don't expect a lot of edits, because this video, you know it, we are working on a deadline day with maybe possibly new players, so I can't lose any time today. So put a maximum of like if you didn't yet. Please continue to subscribe to the channel, continue to share your opinion in the comment section, because you know it, I love to read your opinion about what you think about it, and especially about the Jadon Sancho deal. So put it there in the comment section, because now we start. So what happened between yesterday morning, when I woke up thinking that the Englishman would be a Juventino, and today where he's closer to London than to Torino? Well, it happened that Jadon Sancho was considered a Juventino since really long time. We tried with Giuntoli already in January, and we know what happened. They found a deal with Manchester United for the loan of the player for 6 months. Max Allegri refused for a team that was doing quite well in terms of points. A 3-5-2 where Jadon would probably have difficulties to enter, and he needed to adapt everything. We gave up on the name of Jadon Sancho in January, but Giuntoli never gave up totally on the player because he wanted to go back. And that's what he did in the beginning of this transfer mercato session. It could have been a real concrete possibility if Federico Chiesa would have accepted the destiny that was already written, means him leaving in the beginning of July to Roma, to Napoli, or to other destinations that could have brought Juventus even more than what we sold him to Liverpool. 30-35 million euro. Federico waited, maybe good, maybe bad. At the end, he's going to Liverpool that is playing Champions League. He's playing in Premier League, which at the end we can say from his side, he did really well. From Juventus' side, it's another question, because Juventus, because of Federico, were blocked on that position. In the meanwhile, Juventus continued to do a fantastic 24-25 campaign, because yes, we can say it, even without Jadon, this campaign has been stellar, fantastic, epic. Of course, from now on, the field will need to give the answers, because only the field can judge if a Mercato was great or not. But on paper, that Mercato, guys, it is just fantastic. It's incredible what Juventus did, and we will come back after deadline day about all what Giuntoli and co did for Juventus Football Club. Which means that actually we continued for Nico Gonzalez, for Francisco Conceição, Cope Manners, etc., but we wanted that extra player with international appeal to reinforce Juve. Yesterday we saw the draw. Juventus, they have no intention to play the minimum games, 51 games. They want to play way more. And adding players to continue to increase the strength of that team in terms of intensity, strength, etc. By the way, I analyzed Como and also Verona yesterday. Pay attention, because there are some things that I need to speak about, especially from the beginning of these two games. Well, Juventus wanted to continue to add some depth, some player to be able to rotate according to the game, but also in the game with Jadon Sancho, that is a fantastic player. That is, you like him or not, he's lazy or not, a fantastic player. Juventus, after signing all these players, they saw again the possibility, especially after Federico leaving for Liverpool. We didn't do a Minus Valenza, which means that Juventus was there. We went again. We didn't give up on the high request of Manchester United. We were believing until yesterday morning that everything was possible. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Why? Because in the mind of Giuntoli, the exit mercato of especially three players would have been much more easier. Jalot, Arthur and Kostic. If Jalot, as we speak, is already in Roma and needs to do the medical test, Arthur, there are voices from Napoli to go for him, and Kostic, until 2 days ago, was that close to Fiorentina. There were also other offers, Southampton, Saudi Arabia, etc., etc. We were convinced that the three of them would leave. Jalot will bring you nothing. A loan paid, I believe, 1 million, and then an option to 8, which is a total of 9 million euros, saving not that even much in terms of salary. Arthur, you don't even cash in, because if really he goes to Napoli, they will only pay 10 months of his salary, and no fee, no cashing in for Juve. And then the third one, Filip Kostic, that could have bring you cash and money. But as we speak, none of these players signed a deal, because Jalot needs to do the medical test. They just refused their player Danso from Lens. And let's see if Jalot will be 100% done deal. Then Arthur, in Napoli, there are voices that want to go for him. There are voices that are saying, no, we don't want to go for him. So at the moment, we are not sure about it. And then Filip Kostic, well, if he was that close to become a Viola player, a player of Commisso and Paladino, he's refusing everything, everything, everything. It is over. He doesn't want. Will he go to Saudi Arabia team? Could be. Will he leave after, because exit Mercato will still be open? For example, Premier League, they continue for 2 more days, for 48 hours more than the Serie A market. Saudi Arabia, extra days, even if it's not that long, because then they have internal Mercato that is open, but anyway. But it will be too late for Juve. And that's where we got to the point that at the moment, realistically, at 1:30 p.m., it is over for Juve. They can't do an attempt. And they understood it yesterday. Because yesterday, while I was live and convinced that there were high chances for Jadon to come, I received that message that you saw live. You saw my face changing, where they told me, Beppe, if Kostic is not leaving in the next few hours, we don't care about Arthur or Jalot that will bring 0, but Kostic is the key. If he's not finding a team in the next few hours, it is over. And this information a few hours later were confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, by Gianluca Di Marzio, and also by Andersinho. The one of Andersinho is really close to what I revealed you at 9:30 p.m., saying from the last call, it's more a no than a yes. Let's see if tomorrow things will change. Well, the things change that Chelsea, being the only contender, because Juve was out of the way, Juve retracted themselves. Well, Chelsea, they went all in. They went all in, and it's a done deal for Jadon Sancho. So it is over. Let me know if you're happy about it, if you want it, yes or no. What about Juve? Will they continue to do something on the transfer market in the latest hours? Could be. Could be, but not in that role anymore, because we have the good news is that Bangula will probably be promoted definitely to the first team, the same destiny as Rui Yoa, and also to Savona Nicolo. I'm extremely happy also for Bangula, because you know it, these players that I watched playing with the youth team under 19 and next gen, they have always a special spot in my heart. We were complaining a lot that next gen project was not working because we were selling all of them. Well, when you're selling few of them and you are replacing them with Savona, Rui, Bangula on top of the Yildiz that is already in your team, and Nicolo Fagioli, don't forget about Nicolo Fagioli, we can say that the next gen project is working financially, but also in terms of performances. Bangula saw a chance, he went for it, and he did quite well, with already 2 assists and 1 goal in 2 games. Grande. Grande Samuel, congratulations to him. I will wait until it's official. But is it because Bangula was doing that well that we renounced on Sancho? No, guys, no. Because even if I love Bangula so much, we can't compare the level of Bangula and Sancho at today. Tomorrow it can be another story. At today, it is impossible. So it's not because the performance of Bangula, but thanks to the performance of Bangula, the fact that we are renouncing to Sancho is a bit less hard, let's say, to accept, and also because Juventus did a fantastic mercato. So if we go for extra players, it could be someone in defense, Could be a Dusan Vlahovic vice player, because we know it. Milik didn't at the moment started back his training session. So can there be a vice Vlahovic in that role? Last minute could be. So let's put a notification ring on so that we can also follow all these news. Federico Chiesa left yesterday. A message that started fantastically well, really beautiful. And then at a certain moment he couldn't stop himself to actually say something that was actually not appreciated, or I didn't appreciate it. Speaking about the contract, that he never received a contract. Guys, I will come back on that because today we have no time. It's deadline day. We have other things to take care about. But I really want to come back on the words of Chiesa that I consider not totally correct, not totally fair. I think was not even necessary, and partially true or not, because even if you didn't receive a paper in front of you just to sign with an offer, these talks happened since long time ago, multiple times where they were refused. So did these talks made Juventus understand that there was no margin, they didn't want to, and they took it as an excuse to say, Federico, look, we tried, you didn't want, you have other expectations, our expectations are totally diverse, our vision is totally diverse, let's talk about it now. 1st of July, Federico, you're out of project, and it is what it is. Find yourself a team, which has been said also publicly by Juventus. Now, what are the other news that we need to speak about? Well, the exit, De Sciglio Empoli, done deal. Jalot is in Roma as we speak. Hasa to Lecce. He didn't go to Palermo. He didn't go to Frosinone. For what reason? Because we always told you, if Hasa doesn't continue with Juve, it's because he wants that window to Serie A. It's a player that has a lot of ambition, and it's correct to have them, and that's why he's going to Lecce. We'll see if he will be a starter or not. In Lecce, he will have to prove himself, because it's a big jump from 3rd division to 1st division. But at least he's going for his dream. Juventus will have 40% of the resale on Luis Hasa. Am I forgetting someone? No. The rest of exit players, we need to check about them later. Finishing with the Champions League news. Yesterday we saw beautiful training session images with Nico Gonzalez, with Conceição, with Cope Manners, a new Juve. We are speaking about a new Juve. The Juve that we saw against Como and against Verona, well, it will be another Juve that we will see against Roma. Not sure if the three of them will play, if they will be on the bench, etc., but it will be a new Juve. And if we are looking at the 1st of June until today, the 30th of August, it's a total new Juventus, and I'm happy and I can't wait to see them, and we'll need all of them because, and now we enter the last chapter, Champions League draw yesterday. Now Juventus know the different opponents in a new format of Champions League, and it's true, like you guys, that when I saw the first two names, Manchester City and Leipzig, I told you I was relieved. I was happy because, of course, you could have gone with Manchester City in that first group and Real Madrid, for example. Luckily, we avoided two extremely strong teams in pot 1. We go to Manchester City, that is extremely strong, and then Leipzig, that is a bit more affordable. But then we went to pot 2, especially pot 3 and especially pot 4. Well, the draw didn't see me smiling that much because we go with Manchester City and Leipzig in pot 1. Benfica and Bruges in pot 2, PSV, Lille pot 3, and Stuttgart and Aston Villa in pot 4. Look, if we were in a group with the 8 teams that are playing against each other, these 8 teams, where let's say the first 3 or the first 4 are going through, I tell you, this is a fantastic group. This is a really fantastic group. We can do it easy. But we are in a new format where every single team will have 8 other teams to play against, where there is one big ranking. I tell you, if you have 16 points, you go through to the knockout stages immediately, waiting to continue the rest. Round of 16, quarter, half of the final, semi-final, and then Champions League. You need at least 9, if not 10 points to be actually in the playoff that will see you playing against another one from the 9th until the 24th, and then the one that wins in a home and away game goes through to the knockout stages. So quite difficult. When we see this, you can say, Beppe, but we avoided a lot of big teams. Let's be happy about it. Let's celebrate it. And you're probably correct until a certain moment, because if a lot of teams that we were watching are playing against three huge big teams, let's take the example of Atalanta, Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Barcelona, you tell me, mamma mia, much more difficult. But then you look at the other five teams of their group, Celtic, Shakhtar, Young Boys, Stuttgart, and Sturm Graz, you take Beppe. Look, against this team on paper, because football nothing is predictable, these teams on paper, they are beatable. Atalanta can beat them easily, and they can already have 15, 13 points out of these five games. They just need to do one beautiful result at home against Real Madrid, difficult, or Arsenal. Why not? Because they already did it against Liverpool last year. Do you remember? And Atalanta can go through. So the group, or the path, let's say, the path of Atalanta is much more easier than one of Juve, because Juve is avoiding a lot of big teams in the beginning, but then they have only solid teams. I was watching a YouTuber, thanks to Jose, that pointed out the YouTuber, a Spanish YouTuber that made a huge big sheet on Excel with the difficulties, with the coefficient about home, away, the strength of the team, etc, etc. Really completed. It's in the Telegram group if you want to get a look at it, where you see that Juventus, according to all this calculation, has the sixth most difficult one. Paris Saint-Germain, the most difficult one, crazy group for PSG, and then Bayern Munich, the easiest one. You can of course spot it with your eyes, while Juventus, the sixth most difficult path. It will be tough. It will be tough, because every single game, except, if we want to be honest, except of Manchester City, on paper, every single game Juventus can beat them, but in every single game, it will be a tough game. And nothing is predictable. So, easy, I don't know. But of course, I'm happy to be back in the Champions League, and I'm convinced that Juventus will do well in Champions League. Ragazzi, it's time for me to close the video. I will be back later, or with the live, or whatever, because it's deadline day, you never know what happened. We have so much to catch up together. So, thank you, grazie, forza, Juve.